When you hear the word tithe, what comes to mind? For a lot of people, it's that 10% you're supposed to give and maybe some fuzzy memories of sermons about blessings or prosperity. But what does the Bible actually say about tithing without all the added commentary? Let's break it down using a direct scripture-based approach from a recent blog post by Madukovich'S Cogitations. The blog zeroes in on Malachi chapter 3 verses 10 to 12, probably the most quoted passage on tithing. First it says, "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house." Here's what that really means. The tithe was meant to support the house of Yahweh, or in simpler terms, anywhere God's name is called upon. The meat or food was for everyone involved: workers, community members, even strangers seeking refuge or prayer. So, tithing's original role was to make sure the whole community was cared for. It wasn't about padding the pockets of a few religious leaders. Next up, the passage continues, "Prove me now, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing." That sounds pretty amazing, right? But let's be clear, this blessing isn't all about money. It's described as a broad, comprehensive blessing: spiritual, physical, and yes, sometimes material. The blog warns against prosperity preachers who tell you tithing is just a way to get rich quick. That's not what the scripture promises, and it can actually take advantage of people who are struggling. Malachi goes on, "I will prevent pests from devouring your crops, and the vines will not drop their fruit before it is ripe." In other words, tithing matters when you have an income or some resource, like a farmer with crops. The promise here? Protection of what you have, improved results, and a safeguard against unexpected losses. But, and this is key, the blessing doesn't apply if your wealth comes through deceit or corruption. And sometimes patience is needed before you see the results. Finally, the scripture says, "All the nations will call you blessed, for yours will be a delightful land." This is where tithing moves from the personal to the community level. Historically, tithes supported families, workers, priests, and especially the needy. The end goal? A thriving society that cares for its most vulnerable, creating what the Bible calls a delightful land. So, to sum up, tithing at its core is about supporting your community, receiving a range of blessings, protecting your means of living, and building a better society. It's not just a transaction, and it's definitely not a shortcut to wealth. For a deeper dive into the topic, check out the full article at Madukovich'S Cogitations. Thanks for watching.